Hello, and welcome to tonight's episode of Call of Cthulhu, Masks of Nyarlathotep. My name is Alexander Rabitsky, and I will be your keeper of arcane lore for this evening. You may just call me the Keeper. Tonight we continue our adventurous, horrifying romp through the world of the mythos in a legendary campaign with my legendary friends here at Internet Remix. We have the one and only Split Guardian.
Yeah, that's me. Y'all better behave or I swear to God. Stick.
Yes, his god's name is Stick, that is right. All right, we also have Atwis.
We're just in London having a good time.
We have...
That's totally all we're doing.
That's the only thing that's going to be happening here. We have Upgraded Moon, also known by some as Jordan.
Call of Cthulhu.
That is indeed... Oh, bravo! That is indeed the show you are on. That is the... Oh, stand up! Everyone stand up! Clap emojis in the chat. All right, here we go. Anyway, thank you so much. Like, comment, and subscribe. Anyway,
Yeah.
we are also joined by the one, the only brother Dingleberry, Burrow Dingles.
So, I'm gonna pause for a second. It's really unnerving me that Upgraded Moon / Jordan doesn't have his character name in the call right now. It's making me very uncomfortable.
Oh god, it just says Moon!
Yeah,
Wait,
for reference.
yeah, why am I just Moon?
No idea. For reference, on our Discord, they all use their character names as their Discord nicknames, except for Jordan, apparently.
That's weird. I thought I had it.
You know what? It may have changed when I gave you your punishment roll several weeks ago.
Fucking.
I can't believe you took away his name.
I can't believe you took away my name.
I stole your name like a fey being.
Butthead, I'm gonna kick you in the legs.
Thank you. Speaking of kicking things that just come up to their height, last but certainly not least, Kristen Trzynski.
You said we were legendary. Can I be the Loch Ness Monster?
Oh, I would say that's more mythical, but I'll say yes.
Yay!
Nessie Trzynski.
I like your gumption. Word of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
I can achieve my dreams.
Listen, I won't yuck your yum. I'll let you be what you want to be. It's one of the few times Kristen has not audibly retched at me using the term yuck your yum.
I just really love the Loch Ness Monster that much.
You know what? I respect you on a very deep level. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are picking up right where we left off as the, I will say it with a heavy sigh every time, 1920s disaster gang arrived on the shores of England to carry out the next leg of their investigative journey into the Carlisle expedition and the trail left for them by their late friend Jackson Elias. After the riveting experience that was passing through British customs and James getting his service pistol taken away, they embarked for the city of London, where they set up in a nice hotel and began to plot their various courses. They met with the extremely Irish Mickey Mahoney, editor and owner of The Scoop, a local salacious broadsheet, where they found out a number of details about Jackson's visit here in London, where he took interest in some news stories that were published in The Scoop, the group finding these stories, one involving local murders in the city, slaughter in Soho, one might say, newspaper clippings about a Chelsea-based artist whose work seemed to have disturbing visages, and also a out-of-town report on something out in the village region of Derbyshire, where there are killings and monster sightings, apparently. Crazy werewolves, question mark? Who knows? But on this day, February the 15th, I remember this, the gang has just departed the offices of the Scoop. I'd say it's probably early mid-afternoon, gathering that you just had some, like, chores in the morning. You spent, like, an hour looking, like, it was an hour, like, looking for the broadsheet papers. So, yeah, we'll say it's, like, going on to, like, middling afternoon now. So you still got, you know, some still bit of the day left, you know, fair amount, I'd say. So yeah, we dive right back in. What do you guys want to do?
I know Sybil really wants to go check out those paintings. I have a 20 in painting. Wow.
Connoisseur of the arts.
A connoisseur of the arts. Connoisseur of the arts, Sybil Cordova she's seen 20 paintings in her life. That's what that means.
Just 20.
And each one she says neat and then moves on.
I think that, like, for like a few years in like her youth, she was like, I'm gonna become an artist, and she tried it out for like a summer or something, got kind of into it, and then went, no, I'm bored with this, and abandoned it because it wasn't mystical enough.
God, Kristen's like one Elder Torah that only I have to experience, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
God, so Sybil wants to check out the painting stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
As much as the werewolf thing is also exciting, so that's what she wants to do. I don't know what y'all want to do, but that's where she's like, I got you out the creepy paintings.
You know, it's like
Guess we're going to
mid-afternoon.
creepy paintings.
Yeah, like it's mid-afternoon. It's probably a bit too late to go to Derbyshire, so like, yeah, fucking painting time.
Yeah, Derbyshire's like a bit of a trip, you know?
Yeah.
Actually, painting guy's in Chelsea, yeah?
Yes, the address that Mickey Mahoney gave you is based in Chelsea.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, just for reference, like, in terms of, because you brought it up, like, you guys arrived in Southampton and then had to take a train up to London, which took like around a day, like a long day of travel. Derby is like further than Southampton is to London, so it would take you like a little bit of time to travel up to Derby to get to Derbyshire. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Me sitting here squinting in confusion. It's like, Derby.
Yeah, I know. We're going to be saying Derby a lot, and it's going to get so confusing so quickly, especially starting next week when we have a certain guest star on the show. So, with that in mind.
I'm just sitting here like going cross-eyed over like, oh no, I'm about
We're going to Derby, not you, Derby.
Not you, Derby. I'm Derby. We know Derby. Oh, you've been? Not to Derby. What? Anyway, enough of this theoretical back and forth.
But yeah, I know Sybil wants to go see the paintings, so I think in theory we can do that today, but I think, could we also do Scotland Yard today?
It's up to you. You'd have to get in contact with the person you're trying to see if that's a feasible option.
I think we should get our ducks in a row with that either way. Even if we end up going to the painting, we should still call Scotland Yard to be like,
Yeah.
oh.
Call and make an appointment or something. Why not?
Yeah.
You know, if we can't confirm that it's fine now, we can confirm that it will be fine later.
Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, he would just be happy to take around like 10-15 minutes, make a call, see if he can make an appointment to meet with the good Inspector Barrington,
Absolutely.
and then painting time.
Yeah, for sure. You yeah, we'll go ahead and address that. Yeah, you place a call to New Scotland Yard, kind of go through the routing of various offices, trying to find your way up to this Inspector James Barrington. After a little bit, after like you transfer, the operator says 1 moment please. You hear the clicking and switching of lines. Then a moment later the line clicks again, and you kind of hear what's like the background din of like a mix of like what is most likely some kind of like detectives like precinct bullpen. You can just kind of hear like light shatter and like mechanical clicking in the background, probably from typewriters. But a voice comes clear over the phone and says, Inspector Barrington, Scotland Yard.
Hello, Inspector Barrington. Dr. Sullivan, I was wondering if you were available for an appointment. An associate of mine was apparently met with you, and said associate was murdered, so...
Tragic. I'm terribly sorry to hear that. Which associate might this be? I do meet with an awful amount of people, given my line of work.
An American author, Jackson Elias.
Mr. Elias, yes, I do believe I recall him from some recent months prior. What? You said he was murdered? That's terrible. And this concerns my contact with him?
Yes, we have reason to believe that his murder involved a number of files and things he was looking into for his most recent book, and you were mentioned in said files.
I see. Well, you kind of hear like the shuffling around of papers. Well, yes, Dr. Sullivan, I am more than happy to meet with you regarding this. I cannot spare much time, so I'm going to have to ask you to meet me here at New Scotland Yard. If that is amiable to your interests. When were you hoping to meet?
We'll be in London for a time, so I mean, whenever would be convenient for you at this point.
I see. Kind of like, whereabouts are you based right now? Are you in the city?
Yes.
I see. Well, if it... I do have availability tonight, if you wanted to drop by and ask some brief inquiries into this. I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, we could say tomorrow, post-morning, around after lunch.
I assume, like, people haven't, like, left yet. So it would be like Kit's sort of receiver against the chest is like, tonight or tomorrow morning?
Does anyone have opinions?
Does anyone have objections?
We just got to London.
Probably tomorrow.
Thank you. Sorry about that. Tomorrow morning would probably be best.
Sounds wonderful. I shall expect you here at New Scotland Yard. You know your way here?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. I will see you... I take it by the tone of your voice, Doctor, you are not alone in your company.
I am not. That is correct. I am traveling with a few friends of mine.
Understood.
We're all... Yes.
Understood. Then I expect to see you and your compatriots here tomorrow. Is there anything else I can do for you, Doctor?
No, but thank you very much for your time.
Yes, of course. I wish you a good evening, sir. You hear like a little clear throat, and the line clicks and closes.
Right. Tomorrow morning. All of us. We can... Yes.
Okay.
Sure, sounds like a plan.
Tomorrow in the morning. He's mentally He's compartmentalizing because I'm compartmentalizing. Okay, that does leave this evening open. Are we going to painting?
Yeah, we're
Yes.
going to painting.
Yes.
We're gonna go to a sit and paint, everybody.
some old wine and paintings, sort of thing.
We
Thank
wanted
you for picking up what I'm putting down.
art gallery episode, I guess. That's fine.
Yeah,
Excellent.
finally, my
should do an
degree
art gallery
is useful.
Is that everyone who wants to go to the Shipley home?
Yeah, I'm down.
Why not?
Mason's
Sure.
good.
Cool. All right, let me just switch the music over. Okay. So with that in mind, a lot of you are going to want to find your way to the home of Miles Shipley. Now, Mickey Mahoney, of course, as part of you digging through the papers, gave you the address belonging to the Shipleys, which is in the Chelsea neighborhood, which is a neighborhood situated in West London with the Thames to the south, Knightsbridge to the north, and Belgravia, or Belgravia, depending on who you ask, to the east. The metropolitan borough of Chelsea is predominantly a lower middle class and working class area. Further from the river, the area's prosperity rises, with the upper middle class centered on Sloane Square. Generally, the close-packed houses are the homes of tradesmen, shopkeepers, and those with an artistic flair, artists, painters, poets, lending a bohemian air to this borough. Let's see, this would probably be, getting into, like, the early evening. Like, this is probably before 5 p.m., I'd say. So, at this moment, I'd say the streets are fairly quiet, but this region will probably see a mass commute of people coming home from their jobs to this neighborhood. So it strikes you as the sort of area which is very busy during the morning, quiet for the day, and busy again when people return home. But you follow the address and find yourself to a house in Holborn Mews. The Shipley home sits in a terraced row of houses. It is a 2-story brick building in need of repair. Every window is barred, and all the windows are visibly curtained as well. There is a front door, and kind of the way that all the houses are built, just to give an impression of archaeology, architecture, even though you can't see this about the Shipley home, is they're the kind of areas that all have like backyards and like rear entrances through like a region behind, like a row behind all the houses. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So you get the idea that the Shipley home is just like all the other homes you've passed here in Chelsea. All, bricked off gardens, rear entrances, but yeah, just a front door set into the house, large trees that kind of peek around from, a back garden as well. By now the sky is starting to turn onto the on the more twilight side. It's getting a little bit more pale as the early hours come to an end.
Ah, right. It's winter.
Yes.
So I asked this out of, habit and necessity. Are we being followed?
Sure, give me a spot hidden check again.
Another spot hidden check from Mason Allen.
Okay, you are not, to your knowledge, being followed. These streets are pretty quiet and empty, aside from the odd walking individual. So, but no one seems to be tailing you.
Excellent. I have the eyes of a bat with a walking stick. Great.
I'm sorry. You said, with how you said the phrase "odd walking individual," my brain thought there wasn't in fact a singular individual that was walking that was odd. So I got very concerned for a second.
Eldritch thought, but like you're just like alone on like a quiet, like, middle class neighborhood street, just like, walking, and like, yeah, there's like a dude like walking his dog who passed you on the opposite side of the street, and then like minutes later, like the same dude again, and then after that the same dude again, and just like checking your corners. There's no way that this one person can like make it around the block that quickly. So that's a fun, creepy thought to have.
God, another train
excellent.
car.
That's something I worry about all the time, honestly.
Well, yes, you live in the void, so it's fine.
I do, yes.
Well, yes, you all stand outside on the street walk outside the Shipley home.
Well, who is going to knock?
Well.
Walks her. Okay.
All right. You knock on the front door.
Sybil immediately runs up, wraps her, threads her arm through James's arm, like.
James heard who was going to knock and was just like, well, then no one else is going to do it.
Absolutely. Yep. You rush up with great haste and knock on the door. There's a moment of silence. You kind of hear movement around from the inside. But then a moment later, the door opens. On the other side, you see a 70-year-old woman. Kind eyes and white hair. She kind of like opens the door a little bit halfway. You can see that she's holding a carrying like a knitting basket. Like she was in like, which just has yarn and like kind of has the needle in one hand with some like yarn tied around it, like you caught her mid knit. And this woman says, yes, how can I help you?
Hi, my name is Sybil Cordova, and my friends and I were heard round the bend. Sorry. Oh my god. Sorry, that's out of character. I suddenly realized I'm very tired and went, oh no.
The bend.
I mean,
Bend.
Quick, council, open.
if I may
Yes.
make a suggestion.
Please.
Yes.
Sybil is new to town and she heard very interesting things about paintings and is a bit of an amateur art collector.
Yes, right. Yes, that's what I was gonna go with, and then my brain just flew out of my fucking head. I was like,
Did it fly around the bend?
yeah.
It'd be like that.
They really do be like that sometimes. My name is Sybil Cordova, and my husband and I are some amateur art collectors, and we heard that Mr. Miles Shipley happens to be around here, and we heard his art is absolutely exquisite, and we would just love to take a look.
Oh, yes. Miles is my son. Wonderful little boy. Oh, God, wrong fucking accent. I was going Irish there for a moment. Hold
I was
on.
about to say,
Hold on.
Ooh.
Hold on. I gotta find this
Dangerous
accent again.
fucking game right there.
Right? God, there's so many different types of British accents, man.
They really
Anyway.
are.
Yeah, God. Okay. I'm a serious and professional actor. No, she says, oh, yes, Miles is my son, and more importantly, he is a wonderful artist. The most delightful I've ever seen, though I can admit I haven't seen much art myself. Oh, I apologize. Where are my manners? My name is Bertha Shipley. Welcome. You said you're looking to buy a painting?
Well, yes, actually. Possibly.
Oh, well. She kind of like dotingly like nods her head and like kind of like tucks the basket a little bit more under one arm, and she goes, well, Miles's paintings are very lovely, and from my understanding, though limited it is, they go for quite a fair price. Are you here with cash on hand, or Miles doesn't like people browsing his paintings who don't intend to buy on the spot, I'm afraid.
That won't be a problem.
Oh, you do? Just for posterity, could I see it, please?
Is there something off about her?
Oh, you can give me an insight. Give me a fucking psychology roll. I mean, I was gonna say insight.
Booey.
Her accent's gonna change a lot. Get used to it. So anyway, it's the character that matters. Anyway, let's see. Why?
Like she about to like just like snatch Sybil's money and then slam the door.
No, you don't get the vibe that she's about to snatch the money and go. You get the vibe that there's like these people are relying on pretty like the good income from these paintings, like wants to make sure that they're serious before they just let people like strangers into their home.
Okay.
But she doesn't seem like she's gonna snatch and run.
I mean, Sybil's not too worried James is there. She's like,
Could
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Could I ride the psychology checks to like ask if anything's off about her?
I mean, I see that the vibe you're picking up from her is like very much one of a woman who's kind of starting to go senile. Like she's not really all there. Yeah. Somewhat scatty, little forgetful. Very, nice woman, but I mean, probably starting to fade with her advancing years.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Continue.
Yeah. She sees the money that you show, and she goes, "Oh, well, that's most lovely then. Would you like to come inside?"
Absolutely, that would be lovely.
She kind of opens the door a little more and fully sees everyone outside. Goes, "Oh, you have quite a lot of friends.
We're all
well,
big art fans.
I can tell by the look on your face. That's wonderful. That's so wonderful. Oh, please come inside. I'd be happy to call Miles down for you."
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Bertha just opens the door, like lets everybody inside the home, which kind of is this little like opening, like hallway. You can kind of like see that like there's immediately like, it's like one of those like narrow like row houses, so it's like there's immediately in the entry hall like a stair that goes up, like and like a door at the far end of the hallway, which is currently ajar. Kind of looks like it's into some kind of like kitchen, and Bertha calls up and goes, "Miles, you have visitors!" And she looks back and goes, "Oh, he'll be down in a moment."
Thank you.
The house does not smell awesome, I should say. It's kind of like there's like a cloying like body odor smell in the house right now. But you hear movement from around inside. The interior of this place is like all like sorts of cluttered, by the way. A little definitely it's unclean. This place is messy. It's got like a diet hoarders vibe going on in here. But a little bit later, coming down the steps, you see another individual, young man. Well, I shouldn't say young man. He's like looks like he's in his mid to late 30s. Thin frame, unkempt dark hair, and dark bags under his eyes. Looks, very, very, kind of like skittish. Just kind of like this like palpable like shake and twitch to him as he comes down the stairs. And Bertha just smiles wildly, like it's like, "Miles, these people are looking to buy a painting." And yeah, you guys see that Miles kind of like looks over at all of you and goes, "Yes, good afternoon. Evening. Sorry, you're here to buy one of my paintings?"
Yes, and also I'd just be interested to talk with you about them if you have the time.
Talk about my paintings.
Well, as much as a painting is in fact a look into an artist's soul, it's also helpful to, see what you can get from words.
You see Bertha just kind of goes, "Oh, Miles, they just want to know all about your art. It's all right. No need to be so skittish." Miles just kind of goes, yes, of course. I would be more than happy to show you up to the garret if you're looking to buy. I assume you have money in hand?"
Of course.
Very well. Shall we show them upstairs, Mother? And Bertha just goes, "Yes, you don't have to ask me for permission. Go." And like Bertha's kind of like ascends the steps with a little bit of like a wobble. And she goes, "You'll have to forgive me. My legs aren't what they used to be." And they are going to begin like leading you up through the house to the garret. Hey, I will say that anyone can make this roll. Sunil, you in particular, if you want to give me either a natural world or no roll, which is just your education score, I'm going to give you specifically a bonus die.
Boop. Hooray. Okay, let me open my character sheet, which should still be open.
I will say that I would say that knowledge roll is just your education or a natural world roll. I will say that the knowledge roll does need to be hard or, greater difficulty. So up to you which one you want to roll. Either way, you'll have a bonus die on this.
Listen, no matter how hard I fought to put points in the natural world, it's still only 20, so.
What's your education score, by the way?
It's 82, my dude.
Yeah. So let's do the no roll with the bonus die.
Okay.
Okay, you'll need to hit a 40 or lower because you need to have a hard difficulty.
3, 2, 1.
Hell yeah!
Yeah.
Yay!
Nice.
So Neil, like you've been kind of like out of it since you like stepped inside, just because like the I mean, obviously one, you saw like the mess in here, and that was immediately like, oh, but like there was something about like the cloying body odor that was like, it's like, whoa, it's like when you are hit with like a very strange nostalgic smell that you cannot place, but it is so deeply throwing you, and you're like, oh, it's like, oh, you get it as you're kind of like walking the steps. This place smells like a reptile house.
So Neil would immediately fucking know what this smells like.
Yeah, it's like it threw you off for a moment because you're just like, what is that?
Only my house is allowed to smell like this.
Yeah, it has like that reptilian, like reptile house kind of smell in here.
I think if he recognized a smell like that, he'd immediately just ask, like, "Excuse me, do you keep reptiles here?"
Miles like looks back down the stairs at you all, kind of like mid-ascent, and just kind of like looks to his mom, and Bertha just goes, "Reptiles? Oh, dear me, no. Forgive me. I can't abide the scaly little things myself. They're just so creepy. Well, not for me. Miles, I love him very much, but he's not one for pets."
Is that a lie?
Make a psychology roll.
Yeah, I thought so.
You can't get two in a row.
You can't get two in a row.
That's not
Can't
what
get two in a row.
the point is.
Not what a coin toss.
I could give it a go.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
Nice.
Nice.
There we go.
No, I mean like
I
you
get a
get
check mark.
you get like when she says like, you know, we don't keep any reptiles here, like Miles doesn't have any pets. Seems to that's just like the straightforward, honest truth about it. What you do pick up on though, interestingly enough, is that like Shipley, like Miles, I should say, very clearly a nervous, paranoid man, but is like specifically like fearful of his mother. Like is like looks to her with like just kind of like is constantly deferring to her and just seems skittish and afraid and is very much like a lapdog almost.
Oh, I just had a thought. Hey, does Bertha seem to be hiding any scales?
You can certainly make me a spot hidden check if you want. I mean,
Whoa.
the old woman, I mean, like she's got she's got like she's got a not inconsiderable girth to her, but like the skin that is exposed is just, you know, wrinkly, kind of on the paler side. You don't see any visible like scales are being hidden under like the collar of a shirt or any sense of her body that looks like it's going to be like hidden anywhere.
All right, I'm gonna just keep a little nugget of lizard person question mark in my little Mason journal.
Listen, if Sybil can have vampires on the first guess.
Listen,
Yeah, I mean-
vampires, fucking werewolves. There's got to be a lizard person somewhere.
There's got to be a lizard. You know, when you're right,
Yeah.
you're right, and you're always right.
You're always right. You're always
Just
right.
keep a little nugget in my head. There's got to be a lizard person somewhere.
Well, regardless, as that's going on, Bertha and Miles lead you up the stairs, up to the upper floors, and then from there to another set of stairs that lead up to an attic that end in a attic door, which Miles pulls a key out from his pocket, puts it in the keyhole, unlocks it, opens, and shows you the attic garret at the top of the house. They're dangling kerosene lamps that light this bare room. It has sloping ceilings. I couldn't say that word for a second. From the proximity to the roof, there is a skylight in here, but you can see that it's painted black, so as not to like let in actual outside light. And beneath that is an easel. The canvas on it bears a few pencil sketches toward a new work. A table to the left holds brushes, paints, and palettes, while against the walls lean various paintings. And then there is like a closet door tucked into a far corner. Bertha and Miles immediately begin to present a number of finished pieces. These paintings, I need everybody individually to make a sanity roll.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
Baba Booey.
Oh my god.
Everyone succeeds, but you'll still take some sanity loss. It's all right.
I think that we were all like, God damn! But that was about it.
All of you take one. All of you just take 1 point of sanity damage from seeing these paintings. They're very difficult to look at. They're horrific and weird, and each seems to be more gruesome or grotesque than the last.
How many points did you say?
You just lost one.
Ah,
Rats.
back down to 50s.
Yeah. Yeah, here I'll list off a few in particular. And if you want to say, "Hey, keeper, tell us more paintings," I have more paintings beyond this list. I can just keep going if we want to do that.
Oh
It's
boy.
a full session now. It's just you talking about me.
I
Oh,
guess so.
boy.
I guess so. So one of them, it shows like an alchemist's laboratory in which vials are pouring forth foul-looking gas. Working at a table is a reptilian, like man-like creature who seems to be eagerly involved in the dissection of a creature. Due to the blood and lack of recognizable features, it is really, you can't really determine the identity of the creature that is being cut apart by this reptile man. Another painting, it shows a processional scene from ancient Egypt in which a golden chariot passes through a mass of people who have fallen to their knees in reverence. Atop the chariot is a pharaoh dressed in black and gold robes whose face is turned away from the viewer. Behind the figure, 2 men have been impaled on stakes, eviscerated, their internal organs hang down to the ground and are being eaten by jackals. Another one is a knight. Yeah, what's up?
Remind me, whoever would remember, that book that was in human fucking skin that I read.
Mm-hmm.
Would that at all seem to relate to the painting we just saw?
I'd say that I'd say at this moment the painting is, it's a shocking and very gruesome experience to like look at these paintings. So in the moment you don't really know if they line up, but that's something you could possibly peruse later to see if there is a connection that lines up by checking out that book again. If you wanted to see if there were any like allegories between the two of them. Yeah.
I did bring the books with us.
You did bring the books with you. Another painting shows a nighttime in a woodland scene. A yellow moon casts sickly rays through dark branches upon a group of naked men and women who cavort around a bonfire. Rising from the flames is the image of a goat-headed man whose outstretched arms seem to be conducting the crazed antics of the witches. So basically a normal day for Sybil. Another painting is the unsettling and stomach-churning scene of a man being cut open with a silver dagger held in the hand of a black-robed figure. An act of ritual blood sacrifice upon the victim's chest has been carved in a occult-looking sigil, which seems to twist and to move when you look at it. Another painting shows a towering mountain, possibly in Africa, over which rises a monstrous demonic creature. Its head, a great tentacle swathed in swathed in,
I've always said swab.
yeah, I've said swathed in blood. Near the temple-like building, tiny human figures lift their hands imploringly skyward in supplication to the hellish godlike entity. From each of the humans' heads, a red tongue or tentacle dangles. Looking closely, these appear to be ceremonial headpieces. This painting is familiar for a number of reasons, obviously, especially to Sybil and James, having read the Africa's Dark Sects, seems to line up with the account written in that book. And yeah, so there's a handful of paintings. You want to hear more? I can give you more if you want. If you...
I mean, I like all of them. I would love to hear more, but you know, if everyone else wants to move on, I'll understand.
Before we take another step, because I'm really gonna I'm gonna ride this fucking wave out. The reptile person that's tearing into somebody. Does a reptile person at all seem familiar to Bertha?
It looks nothing like Bertha.
Okay, I kind of
point
figured reptile person, and yeah.
Can I point my two little fingers together? Because this is the thought that has been in his head since he heard there was a painting with a reptile person in it. He kind of wants to ask, so what kind of reptile did you model this after? And for me, there's thoughts behind that, really.
Miles skittishly looks over back at you, Sunil, and just goes, nothing immediately in particular. My muse is my dreams. I see what I see in my dreams, and I paint them. I'm not overtly familiar with the different genii of reptiles. I just paint. I paint what I see, and I see what I paint.
That's what I was digging for, so sorry.
You must have some interesting dreams, huh?
Yes, certainly. Please allow me to show you more. How about this? We'll make a fun game out of it.
Yay!
Yeah, let me just look at all these different things. We'll do one more painting per each of you. Does that sound fun? Here, we'll start with Split. Split, roll me a D4. We'll just randomly determine which paintings from my vast list.
Alrighty, give me one momentary moment here. Just find my fucking D4. That's a 2.
2. Now roll me a D6.
That's another 2.
2. Okay. You see a painting that is a screaming woman being throttled by a massive coiling thing made of smoke and shadow. Atlas, roll a D4. Four. Cool. Now roll a D6 again.
Damn.
This one's a self-portrait. Miles depicts his own shape as blotchy and inchoate. Inchoate? Inchoate, I think that's how I pronounce it. Inchoate. He is in shadow, seated in a garden. Thin green snakes crawl among the weeds. The sky seems blurred and unnatural. Crimes, roll me a D4.
I got it.
Thanks. I'm like, I can't roll it, but Atlas will roll for me.
Nice, roll a D6.
Atlas just has the magic fingers today.
Thank you, Atlas.
You got it.
Just like with Peru, you have to be my hands and roll
It's a
the
4?
dice.
Okay. This one is another nightly kind of scene, a hill, dark figures dancing by a fire, very similar to another one you saw, except in this one, in the sky, there is a single star that gleams unusually brightly. Yeah. Jordan, give me a D4 roll. Nice. Roll me a D6. 5. This one is a painting of an amphora, a Greek kind of vase, painted in a Greek black figure style. The decoration on the urn are depicted performing cruel mutilations on restrained victims and coupling with ill-shaped, bent backward things. And lastly, bro, same deal. Roll a D4.
Boop. are 1d4. I figured. I knew that was exactly what was going to happen.
Cool. Roll a
Yeah.
d6.
Gladly, we're in a space where that doesn't matter.
Yes. This is just performative. 6. Nice. the dichotomy of man. This one is a lover's embrace, but it's twisted. Both man and woman have suffered greatly from some wasting disease, and their bodies are bloody, decayed, and insect-ridden.
Charming.
And all the while, you know, Bertha and Miles are just kind of like pointing this out, explaining like prices. Sybil, how do I phrase this? You reek of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Like just from your appearance and demeanor and your very high credit rating. So a lot of these paintings are going for around 300 British pounds.
As I looks at money,
Yes. Do you want me to do a time period converter for you?
that would be excellent.
Yes, I got you. If you want to talk amongst yourselves for a moment while I do this, please do.
I'm trying to think. So one thing is like I kind of want to get him away from his mom, but I'm trying to figure out how we do that.
Invite him to lunch.
Invite him to lunch.
Would she let him leave?
Well,
Part of me wondered about like,
if she were to be the one to bring up, hey, my son can't go anywhere, then gives a sample opportunity to investigate.
So, idea.
Yes.
So, what if? Surely Sybil is very taken by these paintings.
Yes.
I wonder if he does commissions, and if you could discuss that with him personally.
Mm-hmm. That seems like a
Just an idea.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I did want to ask, is it possible, like, does anything from these paintings kind of scratch at the back of Mason's noggin? Like, would I be able to like do like a Cthulhu mythos check?
I was also
To
thinking
see
about that.
Something that might pique Mason's mind. For some reason, he has knowledge of certain things, like Atlantean speech.
God.
Sure, why
I'm
not?
not
You can go ahead and give
gonna
me a Cthulhu Mythos roll.
You got it, sailor.
You might as well use it.
Jesus Christ.
No way. Fuck me.
Now, here's another question.
Yeah.
Can I use one of my very dwindling luck points to make that a hard success?
Sure. Why the fuck
Next.
not?
To the tiny amount of 98 luck. Oh,
Okay, but theoretically, you could
Probably.
make it an extreme success with how much luck you
I could, but I don't want to. I'm saving that for something critical.
Sure. Okay. I mean, these paintings are all very like in massive broad strokes, pun intended. Very like vague, grotesque, and gruesome to look at. So their subject matters are kind of muddled. What I will give you is that I mean, you're unfortunately not going to get much from this one. Sorry, I'm glad you succeeded though.
That's okay.
Which is that, yeah, I mean, that one painting of that mountain in Africa 100% lines up with everything about the cult of the bloody tongue. I mean, the creature depicted in it is probably the bloody tongue, the god of that cult. All these other things are just vague enough where you don't really have deep inklings. Like there's like stuff about them that is like there might be connections you're aware of, not aware of, I should say, because you're very not well read in the subject matter involved here. But it does seem like a lot of this, there is some more esoteric, deeper meanings to all of these paintings, but nothing that you can heavily pick up due to just the subject matter of how these paintings are painted. But you do confirm,
Okay.
yeah. So
little something. I'm gonna put that little nugget of knowledge in my skull. Let it sit there and simmer.
As we wait for the conversion.
Yeah, because I'm having a hell of a time finding the conversion rate for the time period. So I'm looking at 1925 pounds to USD conversion rate. Just, I gotta know.
Couldn't you theoretically just do it now and then just do the now conversion and then like that's not what I mean. There's like a different direction you can do this.
Oh, I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
So
how much would 300 pounds be worth today, and then convert that to USD?
Well,
how much?
I know it may not be the same because it's inflation in a different country.
300 British pounds in 1925 worth today.
In 1925, the pound is worth $4.87.
Okay, thank you, God. Thank you so much. So that is
You're
for,
welcome.
for 300 pounds, that is how much in American money?
So basically multiply it by 5 and then subtract some dollars.
A lot.
Yeah.
These paintings are a lot of money.
Yeah, about 1,500,
Yeah.
a little less.
Oof.
Okay. I mean, me staring at trying to remember how much muns I have on me right now.
Spending value.
I mean, spending
Your
We're
cash
spending
is $1,800, and that's your
Yeah.
cash. And your spending level is 250.
I mean, I can dip. I mean, either way, I should be able to dip into that. Like, that wouldn't be the end of the world.
I
You
will
want-
say it's worth dipping into it specifically for this,
Not
though,
really.
given the information we currently have. The painter seems more useful than the paintings at this point, in my perspective. But it's just
I mean, true, but
Sweetheart,
know.
please don't spend all of our money.
it's like what you could
on a-
do is you could talk to him about a commission and negotiate prices with him then, and then say you'll get back to him. But we both know, as people that do commissions, that means, ooh, that's a little steep, and I'm not going back. I'm sorry.
stares into the fucking abyss. It's fine. I don't have working hands anyway. God. Sybil's like, but I want to buy the painting. Sybil, don't. But I want to buy the painting.
Hand on shoulder.
But it's pretty.
Poor butler's gonna get a fucking package. He's gonna open it up. And have to make a sanity roll just to look at what weird shit you bought in London.
I just had a thought. I just had a thought.
Oh,
I had a thought. So, like, this might give us an opening with him. To it'd be like, okay, you might mention, oh, do you do commissions? He'll probably say no because most of his, paintings come from his dreams. And then you can say, well, I have some dreams that I think would be interesting to be painted, which could kind of lead us into a, hey, like,
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's the angle we will attempt.
does anybody like not want to do that? Because I don't want to push people into a thought that I just had at.
No, I think it's a good idea.
I'm down.
I mainly want to get him alone so I can ask him if he's in danger.
That is the other
Because
thing.
he seems like afraid. Like a part of me is like, if we need to get him out like pronto.
The thing about people in these kind of situations, though, especially someone that the vibe I'm getting off of him is, if you ask him that question, even if he's alone, he's not going to tell you yes,
Yeah.
even if the answer is yes.
I mean, you could get a read off of him, maybe, but who knows if he'd just go back and tell her. Because.
I mean, either way, I think
So,
probably just proceed and see where it goes, because, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
For the commission angle, can we discuss this some more?
Yeah.
I'd like to tell you my dreams. Dreams are private, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So Sybil is going to very enthusiastically inspect these paintings. She genuinely does
Mhm,
want to
yeah.
buy them. Like, she really does. But James said no.
unfortunately, dear, I don't think any of these will look welcoming over our mantle.
But just imagine the Egyptian one over Steve.
James looks down at Sybil and he gives her that look of like the most tired eyes with the smile of just shut up, Sybil.
My insane wife.
Steve, you still have that?
Yeah, he's my
Oh, we got it
friend.
a couple friends actually.
Yeah. James gets me received every year. Anyway,
Mason looks at James with even wider eyes, like, what the fuck? He doesn't yell that out. That is his look at James is, what the fuck? You picked up more skulls?
why would
James
you?
nods as if that is a question. like he's confused. He's like, what do you mean?
Bertha
did I
Shipley
become first?"
politely clears her throat.
So, as much as I'm thoroughly enjoying your work, Mr. Shipley, I actually was wondering if you do commissions?
Miles kind of looks at you and just, twitches a little bit and goes, "No, I'm sorry, I do not. I only paint what I paint. I do not take commissions."
Well, I just thought, some of these paintings remind me of some dreams I had myself, and while I'm only an amateur, I thought
Bertha
like
cuts in and says, "Oh, well, if they remind you of some of your dreams, you're more than happy to take one that's as close as you can get." And Miles goes, "Yes, I do not take commissions. Thank you for inquiring, but I do not paint anything outside of my own interests. I am sorry, but that is my final word on that matter."
That is certainly fair enough.
Bertha just kind of goes, "Oh, go ahead, James."
But my wife has taken quite an interest in your work. Surely you can at least allow us to maybe invite you for dinner?
Miles just kind of like skittishly defers to his mother, and Bertha just kind of like gives you just a warm smile and goes, "Oh, that's such a lovely request of you, young man, and very handsome you are. I will. Oh, dinner. When was the last time I was invited to dinner? It's been so long. I just. Oh, I'm flattered. I feel like a young girl again. Perhaps is there a number you could leave with us at another time? Maybe I'm awfully tired tonight."
Well, how do you feel about it, Miles?
I don't get out much. I feel that I don't know. Sure, leave a number and perhaps we will take you up on that, but I do have a number of people who do stop by to actually buy these paintings, so I cannot say with any consistency what my schedule and availability is at the moment. So if you would like to leave a method of getting back to you, I'll let you know if I have any availability to be taken out to dinner. I do appreciate your invitation, though. Yes, Atlas, you have your hand raised.
Out of character question.
Yeah.
Do you guys think it's worth asking him if Jackson came by to look at his stuff?
Good
I was actually
If he
fixing
took
to
any
do that, yeah.
interest. Okay. Go for it.
So James, he gives him like the happy smile of just like, "Oh, that's lovely to hear," and all that kind of shit. He's played this game a number of times,
Mm-hmm.
and just I assume by this point, Sybil and James have cards.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Probably.
going off of that first time where he's like, "Shit, let me get my number," and she's like, "Just take my card."
So let's establish the mechanics of this right now. So here's what I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong. The number listed calls Maurice, who routes the calls to wherever Maurice knows you guys are.
Yes.
Incredible.
Otherwise, he takes
Yep.
messages until you contact him again, and he'll give you the messages. Okay, that seems
Yep.
correct. Sure, you hand them the
So,
yes,
yeah, he goes
Cordova
over,
and
he goes
O'Connell.
ahead,
Yeah.
he hands over the card. He's to Miles specifically.
Yeah, Miles, takes a shaky hand, reaches out, and like very kind of like snatches it back from you and just kind of like looks at it and just tucks it away in its pocket. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, it'd be wonderful to see you at some point, just to discuss creatives.
Thank you.
My
Yes.
wife, she's all about.
Yes. I listen. I. Thank you. Well, he's being
I
like
get it.
painting.
You have work to do. But I had one question before I leave.
Yes. How? Yes. What?
A friend of mine is very interested in the macabre and this kind of thing, and he did mention an artist, and I was curious if it were you. Have you ever met a man named Jackson Elias?
I'll answer as well. Clarify. You never heard from. Just to make sure we're all aware. Jackson never mentioned the artist. Mickey Mahoney said that this was the article about the artist was one of the ones that Jackson took interest in, but Jackson never mentioned.
Yeah. No.
Just making sure that we're clear on that.
He's lying.
Yeah.
Just making sure we're clear on that. But anyway, regardless.
Yeah, no, I'm clear. Fast talk.
Yeah. Okay, got you. Regardless, yeah, you're like, no, I'm kidding. It's fine enough. Miles kind of like furrows his brow, his face like twitches, and his eyes move around frantically. And he goes, "Why is he another American?"
Yes.
I haven't met a man by the name of Elias. No, I mean, unless he came. No, all.
You wouldn't be able to miss him.
Well, then I'm afraid that I have not met anybody with that name or supposed demeanor. I apologize, but I remember everyone I sell my paintings to.
Kit would like to clock to see if he's lying
Yeah, go
at
for it.
this point, because this man is so anxious.
This man is paranoid as fuck. Nice. Straight up, Miles has no recollection of ever meeting Jackson. Just straight up doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, gives you the fact that this man probably does remember the majority of people he sells his paintings to. Doesn't remember meeting a guy named Jackson.
Could we focus on the, unless it was for a moment, that one little moment in his speech of just like, I've never met any Americans unless it was that. No.
It seems like this, because Kit rolled in extreme success. What I'll say is, this guy seems like kind of like a growing hot commodity in the art world, so he's probably selling his paintings to more and more people. So it's like he thinks, maybe have I? No, haven't met men. And so confirmed with himself and with you guys, he had never met Jackson before.
Okay.
Yeah. Even go so far as to ask you like specifically when he may have met Jackson, and in the time frame you listed, which was like for Jackson a few months ago, Miles would further be like, then definitely no. I've never met a Jackson Elias.
All right, worth a shot. But
well, Bertha
do
says,
call us.
Oh, we'll be more than happy to call you. Did it sound so lovely? Oh, but if you're not going to buy one of Miles's paintings, allow me to at least show you to the door myself. Miles, clean up in here. It's a mess.
And Bertha just kind of like says, and just kind of like gives you like the polite shooing gesture of like, all right, let's go. If we're done here, let's go.
Falls along.
Miles like mid putting an easel away just goes, yes, what?
Have you dreamed of a man named Lester Goodman?
He kind of like again furrows his brow. No.
Terrifying smile, black eyes.
Not something by the name of Lester Goodman. I've never heard of that name before. All my paintings, I've never painted anything like that. Or no, I've never heard of that name.
Psychology check.
Go fucking go for it. It's the unspoken rule of TTRPGs. If the DM says something, it will be insight checked. Straight
Can
up.
I also run a psychology check on him?
Gotta get these check marks.
Hold on, let me think about this for a second. Hold on, I'm gonna retcon for a little bit.
Oh yeah?
I'm gonna retcon a little bit, only just because the text explicitly says, if there's any paintings you want to make up to show to your players, go for it. And I'm like, cool. All right, cool. He said that he does not know who the name Lester Goodman is, but he described the appearance, and he'll be like, I painted something similar once, but I've never heard the name Lester Goodman.
Well,
Similar? Can we see it?
Sure, I suppose. Fumbles around, goes to grab a painting, and turns it around to show you guys. Everyone make a sanity check.
Huh, it's that bastard.
Okay. You all take no sanity damage, but this is an exact
There he
depiction
is.
of Lester Goodman.
There's our good
It is a grotesque image. It is a close-up headshot enshrouded by like shadow and like kind of vague unwholesome shapes kind of in the background, but this unmistakable face, eyes as black as pitch, a very familiar wide rictus grin, but the edges of his mouth have like split a little bit and like blood trickles down from where the tearing is and like seeps into like the crevices of his gums and teeth a little bit. Just this leering familiar shape looking out to you from the canvas.
What was that dream about?
Most of my dreams are what you see here, little more than that. I see, I dream, I see, I paint.
Nothing talked to you.
No, nothing talked to me.
we've dreamed about him too.
Consider yourself lucky.
Miles just like is like his eyes are like he looks even more scared and paranoid now. His eyes flicking all over the place. Bertha just like looks around, just smiles.
Oh, you all have similar dreams. That's so lovely. Oh, you should be an artist too. I bet you'd be just as good as my little Miles. Oh,
Dream big.
Dream big, she says.
At any point, does she blink?
Yeah, she's blinked several times.
Okay, and when she does blink,
Yeah.
does she do like that weird like little like reptile blink where like
No,
the first
no.
pair of eyelids closed? and then
No,
the
she
second
blinks
one-
like a normal person.
All right. I'm
God.
so suspicious of this bitch.
I feel as though Sunil at this point, one, he has just seen this painting like, right, confirmed, thoughts confirmed, cool. That's like his mental thought, but he kind of like personally actually claps his hands together, and he goes, I just had a thought, this might work. Actually, I actually will be heading downstairs. I don't want to be, I understand what it's like to have a bunch of unfamiliar people in your personal working space. It's a little overwhelming, especially when you've asked about business, and business is not necessarily what is being done. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. What was your last name again? Miss
Shipley. Bertha Shipley.
Miss Shipley, if you would please help me down the stairs really quickly. I am.
Oh, I was going to ask you to help me down the stairs. We'll help each other
Yes, we'll be
down.
helping each other down the stairs. Goodness.
Aren't you just a little peach?
God.
Holds on to you, you hold on to her, like step down all the way down through the house.
Good thinking.
Miles just goes, well, thank you. Please, if you do wish to buy a painting sometime, you're welcome to stop by with the requisite cash next time.
Can I ask, when did you start having these dreams?
He's moving down this. He's already like moving with it with Bertha and going down as well. He goes, that's like actually a good fucking question. Let me double check.
How much would it dig into our savings to get one of these paintings?
I
How
mean,
much would it dip into our cash?
we have so much money. It actually would not dip that much.
Miles
into our-
says, the better part of 2 years, I'd say.
2 years. I see. Did anything change for you when that happened?
Shakes his head. No.
No, they just started appearing.
Yes, I was a struggling artist, and then I found my muse, and I've been painting ever since, to the growing notoriety.
Well, I see.
At this point, you get the vibe that they're really trying to politely show you out, and you
Yeah.
are overstaying your welcome at this point.
Kristen, I need to know this.
Yes.
How much would it dip?
I can't look at the money. I can't use my hand.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, we'll say it's like what, 1,500 British pounds. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's 1,500. You have
USD, yeah.
1,800 in cash that you could go into, and then your assets are like in the hundreds of thousands. So you're fine.
It's in the hundreds
we're
of
fine?
thousands?
The assets are like $170,000. So
Oh, you're good.
you guys would be fine.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So, at this point, like while she's asking Miles all these questions about dreams and all this, James is like staring at the Lester
Mhm.
painting. And then just like as he's trying to politely, it's like, all right, let's go. He just James hand onto Sybil's shoulder. I changed my mind.
Oh,
I changed my mind. And he points over at the Lester Goodman painting. We're taking that one.
okay.
Miles looks at you. Bertha, who got like a little bit down the steps, stops and just goes, "What?" Like calls back up the steps. "Oh, you're buying a painting? Yes." Miles just goes, "You want that one?"
I want that one.
Yeah, I named my price. I expect it to be paid. I do not.
It will be paid. Sybil?
It will be paid. This, and also, perhaps a nice meal.
Yes, perhaps I will call you. Takes the money, gets like wax paper out and begins like wrap up the canvas and tie it with twine. Hands it off to you, James. Thank you. Yes, your money is graciously appreciated. Yes. Bertha's just fucking elated. She very much like Doteflea just seems to have like lost herself in her own happiness and just goes, oh, what were we talking about?
Is it wrong that I kind of want to be an asshole? And, well, not an asshole, but Sunil's kind of like, ever since they were walking down the steps, Sunil has been like right next to Bertha this whole time. He's just like lightly patting her shoulder, like, yeah, no, we bought a painting.
So you've been like super close to Bertha this whole time, right?
He's been close to Bertha.
Like on the walk down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a.
Like a reptile.
Why don't you give me a luck roll, Sunil?
Okay.
Does she smell faintly of a reptile?
Luck. Okay. I'd say that on your way down and out, as you're kind of like walking with Bertha, down the steps, like and like the flickering kerosene like lights out to like a hallway. You briefly kind of catch a glimpse of like her faint shadow. It's like the lighting in here is dim enough that like there originally isn't that much of a shadow, but it catches you off guard for a moment, like kind of casting on the stairwell. Her shadow looks, for the brief moment that it kind of like it's visible in the dim lighting, really fucking weird. Like it seems like oddly proportioned and shaped, just for the briefest of moments before you can't see her shadow anymore.
Fucking reptile person.
Yes, Atwis?
But before we leave, just so
Yeah.
I don't forget, the bizarre smell, did that get worse as we went up?
No,
into
it just
the
permeated.
attic?
It just permeated
Okay.
permeated the entire house.
Cool.
Cool. I might continue to be an asshole at this point.
Up to you, man.
Because it's like he's now interested in this woman. So, I saw that when you opened the door that you had your knitting with you. You knit, ma'am, yes?
Oh, yes. On and off.
On and off. How long have you been doing that?
Oh, well, ever since I stopped working, I've been knitting. I find it fills the time in between Miles helping me take care of the house, and oh, I'm not very good at it, but I do enjoy it.
Oh, that's very good to know. You know, my family works in textiles, so I do to a certain extent.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah,
Do you have any knitting recommendations or tips? I'm still awfully not good. I'm always looking to improve.
So Sunil has information that I don't. He probably would rattle off some better like fabrics that she could be using. Some better yarn that she could be
Bertha's
using.
like, oh, that sounds lovely.
And then he realizes he should write this down because this woman's not going to remember a single thing that he says. So he's just like,
You do. And you give it to her, and she goes,
Oh, what's this?
you know what? You'll remember when you need it. So I have actually been staying with my mother for a while.
This is all happening like they're trying to like get you out of the house.
I know.
Like they're,
I
okay,
understand.
bring
He's
it
trying
here.
to get as much as like a talk with this
Sure.
woman as he can.
Yeah.
So if he has to like stop at the door and do that awkward pat down of a person when you're leaving, like he will do that.
Since we're going so slowly, I think Sybil's gonna do a little bit of a kind of look around, like, oh well, since I'm stuck behind these two and we're going so slow, I might
He's stalling.
glance into some rooms.
I mean, all the like the way that like the stairs come down from like the attic, and it's like a little like upstairs hall, which is like the same like proportion, like it's like a narrow. There's like the stairs that go back down to the ground floor, and there are various doors to other rooms in the house, but they're all like closed. So then so there's no like open doors. The only open door was like the kitchen, which is where you assume Bertha was like chilling out when she came to answer the door. So there's no rooms for you to like look into, I'm afraid.
Darn.
The thing. Sorry, the
No,
thing
go
I was saying was actually leading into a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thought process was, I'm staying with my mother, actually, pretty regularly. The relationship, I would say, is I help her, she helps me. Would you? And he kind of looks over his shoulder, probably, because her son's probably behind him. You know, it's a kind of codependent thing, yeah? You know, you do things for her, help her out, and she...
Miles just gets like there he goes. Yes. I take care of my mother. She takes care of me. And Bertha goes, I don't know what I'd do without my little Miles.
Yeah, you'd say taking care of her while she's as she is, yeah?
Miles just goes, well, yes, of course, she is my mother.
Yeah. No, completely understandable. I'm just common ground. I can't think of a better way to word this, so they're just gonna my basic wording along these lines is kind of like
I think Bertha would actually specifically say like he was like
It's like, I'm unable to work much anymore. I'm not what I used to be back in the day. So I rely on Miles taking care of me through the sale of his paintings, and he's doing so awfully well. And I'm so proud of him. Oh, I bet your mother is just as proud of you as I am of my little Miles.
Can I ask when you stopped working?
Oh, my dear, I'm getting, as they'd say, advanced in my age. I turned 70
Well,
not too long ago. I haven't.
Well, you don't look it.
Oh, stop it! You're so funny. I was like, oh, Miles, isn't she just funny and cute? Oh,
just giggles and like laughs and fully loses herself in that moment and completely just ends up like forgetting to even return to the question and goes back on an entire tangent as she's like continuing to like steer towards the door of just like like little memories about like just like Miles as a child or something, you know, just like going through those motions.
I feel like at this point Sunil would put his hands together. He's probably in fact like literally walked with Bertha down these goddamn stairs and been in contact with her the entire time, but he lets her go. Well, I'm glad that we could help in the situation we've given you with the painting. I do look forward to the dinner, though. That is part of the yes. Thank you so much for your hospitality. Thank you so much for your work. I'm going to, and then Sunil like goes towards the door, very polite like wave. And he's just glad to be kind of outside right now because he's like,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. We'll be in touch, I'm sure. We're supposed to get dinner after all.
Of course, I look forward to hearing from you, my dear.
Well, we left we left your son with our cards, so we
And
will be.
And Miles says from like where he is on the stairs, and I will be sure to call when time allows.
Of course. Thank you so much.
He's back on the stairs, like he's not near the door.
Yeah.
I was gonna shake his hand.
You can't
Oh,
touch
well.
the man. Can't touch him.
He's too far away.
So far.
No, see, James would have done one of those like "you're shaking my hand" kind of situations.
Mm-hmm.
Too late.
But it's too late. He's too far away.
Alas.
But yeah, so James would just give the pleasantries of like, "Goodbye, thank you very much." Just painting underarm.
Yeah. And unless there's anything else, politely are shown to the outside of the Shipley home, where Bertha shuts the door.
So, are we gonna burn that, or?
I figured we'd keep it as a trophy.
We could paint a mustache on it.
We could paint a mustache on him.
Paint the penis on his face. Said he fell asleep.
No, that's a little too late.
This is still going in the foyer.
Of
so
course. Fair enough.
I don't know about a penis, but mustache and a monocle?
Oh God, handsome gentlemen. I'm watching Atlas's face at this point.
We're all focused on what's really important here.
Sorry, Kit's just got a lot going on hearing this
It's like-
conversation right now, and that's what's happening on my face. It's just like,
That's what I figured. No, I will keep in mind that Sunil has mentioned the mustache thing pretty idle-minded, but he's also kind of like motioning towards we should start walking.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Kit's
Yeah.
probably already started walking.
Yeah.
And you guys walk down the street with purpose and haste. By now it's like gotten like darker, outside. So you got split.
I'm sorry, I have to highlight a chat thing real quick.
Oh, please do.
Draw some kitty whiskers on fucking Lester. Cat girl Lester.
And on that extremely cursed note, we're gonna take a break. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere as we continue the adventures of this bullshit. All right, we'll be right back.
The Rime of the Ancient Mariner by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Part 2. The sun now rose upon the right. Out of the sea came he, still hid in mist, and on the left went down into the sea. And the good south wind still blew behind, but no sweet bird did follow, nor any day for food or play came to the mariner's hollow. And I had done a hellish thing, and it would work 'em woe, for Oliverd I had killed the bird that made the breeze to blow. Ah, wretch, said they, the bird to slay that made the breeze to blow. Nor dim nor red, like God's own head, the glorious sun uprised. Then Oliverd I had killed the bird that brought the fog and mist. 'Twas right, said they, such birds to slay that bring the fog and mist. The fair breeze blew, the white foam flew, the furrow followed free. We were the first that ever burst into that silent sea. Down dropped the breeze, the sails dropped down. 'Twas sad as sad could be, and we did speak only to break the silence of the sea. All in a hot and copper sky, the bloody sun at noon, right up above the mast did stand, no bigger than the moon. Day after day after day, we stuck, nor breath nor motion, as idle as a painted ship upon a painted ocean. Water, Water everywhere, and all the boards did shrink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink. The very deep did rot, O Christ, that this should ever be. Yea, slimy things did crawl with legs upon the slimy sea. About, in reel and rout, the death fires danced at night. The water, like a witch's oils, burnt green and blue and white. And summoned dreams assured were of the spirit that plagued us so. 9 fathom deep he had followed us from the land of mist and snow. And every tongue, through utter drought, was withered at the root. We could not speak, no more than if we had been choked with soot. Ah, well a day, what evil looks had I from old and young. Instead of the cross, the albatross about my neck was hung.
And welcome back. So I do gotta ask for the group, after leaving the Shipley home, is the plan just to call it a night here?
Weren't we supposed to visit Sunil's mom?
I mean, by calling it a night, I mean that could just wrap up the evening by going to see Manisha Pandey.
I mean,
Up to you guys.
I feel it'd be rude to go in much later.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that.
Sounds
Yeah.
good to me.
Everyone, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Bro, are you ready to play Manisha?
Sunil quietly. Okay. No, it's like no. I have been busy all week and forgot to. Didn't have time to
You're
listen
good.
in on accents, so I
No, you're good.
apologize to whoever I offended.
Hey, if I had to falter around with Bertha's accent for an hour and a half, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Great. Awesome. Then yeah, I mean, after leaving Chelsea, you guys can, find your way across the city to get to where Manisha, where the Pandey residence is, which remind me, say the neighborhood again.
It's in the borough of Kensington and Chelsea.
Correct. So it's actually not that terribly far.
It's actually pretty close.
Yeah. It's in the borough of Kensington. In Kensington and Chelsea. Gotcha. Anyway, so yes, the group of you make your way over to the Pandey residence, which, bro, I'll let you actually take this one. I mean, you describe the Pandey residence. This is the first time the group's seeing it. I mean, everyone except for Kit, I should say.
It's not the first time that James and Sybil are seeing it. It might be the first time that Mason.
That's true. That is true.
Which Jordan, split second decision right now. Is it the first time that Mason has seen this house?
Yes.
Okay. So
It'll be Mason.
did I fuck up? No, wait.
No.
Okay. So basically, you get into a row of homes. I don't remember what to call them.
You're fine. Residences, townhouses,
Residences,
row
townhouses.
houses.
Yeah, they're townhouses, row houses. They're Xander, I added a floor because I needed to.
Okay.
But, like, we talked about between 2 and 3. There are 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
They're basically it's a simple white townhouse. You see some like well kept plants in the front of the doorstep. They're simple but like typical of what you would expect in like this kind of area. A couple steps up, it's painted white. It's pretty like a normal thing. Aside from that, it's not like super notable. It's like there. If you didn't know that you were going to a specific household, you would not know that is where they were in residence. So that's the description of that.
I see.
Excellent. Well, then, I would assume Sunil is the one at the head here.
Sunil is fumbling in his pocket a bit, and he's just like, "Oh wait, where? Right,
Really? Hold on. Kit digs into his pocket, takes out his keyring, hands it to Sunil.
Thank you." Sunil walks up to the door. He starts fumbling with the lock. Manisha just opens it. Goodness, the sun is down. It took you long enough. Hello, everyone.
Manisha!
Hello.
It's wonderful to see you, Miss Pandey.
It is wonderful to see you all. Sunil, get in the house. Go. Sunil goes inside. She everyone. It is rather cold, from my understanding. There is one food inside. It is nice to see you all. Oh, you must be Miss Cordova, Mr. O'Connell, Kit. And you must be Mason Allen, yes?
Hi. Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
It is
Thank
nice to
you,
meet
Mason.
you, I've heard.
Mason extends a hand. It's like, do we shake hands?
She puts out her hand like in that, dainty kind of way and grabs it, like kind of shakes it,
Yeah, kind of.
She doesn't shake his hand super firmly. It's a very like yeah. She's like, but yes, all of you inside, come on. She basically you walk in at this area. It's a very cozy kind of it's very warm in here. Like not warm, it's warm as in somebody has been cooking for the past like 2 hours kind of warm. It's very like home-ish. There's like decoration pretty much. It's very colorful. Like she tends to keep the area pretty colorful. There's the occasional like there's 1 or 2 vases, a mirror next to like the side. I have mentally had this place built in my brain for like a while now.
This is me tricking bro as like the gateway drug for becoming an actual DM one day.
You don't need to trick me.
You just need to do a campaign.
Need to do a campaign. Anyway, continue.
God.
Yes. The keeper's just listening at this point. I love it.
It's like a radio, desks, maps. There's like a small couch in this area. You see probably a bedroom to the left, a bedroom in the middle, stairs leading upstairs. There are 2 bedrooms downstairs, and to the right is the kitchen. Like it's a pretty medium-sized area. It's taller than it is wide. Let's put it that way. Basically she is walked over to like the table. It is already set. She figured you were coming. She was kind of just like she figured you were coming. She was just like, he did not tell me exactly which friends were coming, but if I were to assume, I would assume it would be Kit guaranteed, Mr. O'Connell, Miss Cordova, and Gibbon. How things have been going. Pretty sure Mr. Allen will also be here. Yes. So she has everything like set up. And make yourself at home. If you would like to look into anything, then it is fine. Just do not move too much. I try really hard to keep the place clean. Sunil, yes, mother. I need you. Fuck, wrong accent. I need you to be a pleasant host. They may be your friends, and I may be the main host, but you are my secondary host. I need you to take care of them while I am dealing with the kitchen, yeah? So basically, she's leaving you guys to speak while she's like setting table, etc.
Let me help you with that, Manisha. Kit will go assist her in the kitchen.
You are just so good. So good to this ailing woman. She looks over at her son and goes back to her. God. So, welcome back to my home. Mason, this is your first time, actually. Oh.
Yeah, it's a very pretty place. Mason's just kind of looking around.
Goodness. Oh, wait, actually. Mother. Yes, Sunil? Have you been taking care of the, our guests? Well, of course I would be taking care of the guests. You keep them in my home and then you act as though... Anyway, so yes, she has been taken care of. And Mary's been... Yes, Mary is a good girl. She is fine. Everything is good. Sunil looks back at all of you and goes, so, looks over to his mother, looks back at you all. I actually don't think I ever showed you guys my snake room, if you wanted to see.
I would like to see the snakes!
Any pink in Mason's face just snakes?
What's wrong, Mason?
I didn't know you had snakes.
What are you afraid of snakes?
Oh my god, are you afraid of snakes?
No, I've never been afraid of snakes in my life. He's visibly afraid of snakes.
Oh my
Yeah, I think we should go check out the snake room.
Immediately,
Come on,
like,
Mason.
Sybil and James, like,
Wait,
look their
hold on.
arms around. Come on! We have to
Hold
go
on.
meet his friends! His
I mean,
guests!
like, it would be like
You heard Manisha. Mary's a very good girl. Don't you worry about a thing.
I'm being dragged.
I'm sure
being
they're
dragged.
good friends! Come on!
Sunil, after you,
Please.
my friend.
From the kitchen, Kit just says, "Say hi to Flan for me."
I will say hi to Flan for you. Kit named that one. It was very, very particular. You basically, you walk up the stairs. You see like a second floor, which is it's a little bit more open. This is clearly where like you would do things. There's like a study off to the side, 2 more rooms. You go up to the 3rd floor, and this is why I had to add an extra floor to this house, is because I realized how big the snakes were. And how much space they'd actually need. So you go up to the last thing. Sunil like looks down at you. He makes like a finger. He puts his finger on his. Shh. It's late. Some of them are awake. They're nocturnal. Some of them are asleep. Still, I will warn you. Do not stick your hand in any tanks. I am studying the venom, so most of them are venomous.
Sybil already was reaching toward a tank and then removes her tiny. Ow!
He said, "Don't touch the tanks."
Please do not touch the tanks. And then he ushers you all in, and he's just like, you see a room where these tanks are clearly put together by someone who knows what they're doing. It matters to him that it was also aesthetically pleasing in here. So it's just like you see certain snakes are lit because for warmth, etc., etc. Like basically what you would think of an enclosure in this space. It's technically too small for these animals, but he's not supposed to be having them for too long anyway. It's mostly like this is like a halfway house for most of these snakes, except for 2 of them. Xander, can I ask your permission to do a thing?
Permission granted automatically.
Okay, so because there are 10 snakes in here, there are exactly 10. We won't have time to talk about every snake that you see. So would you mind the 3, like one of you rolling a d10 real quick?
I cannot touch anything, so.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. D10, let's go. That's a 9.
All right, that is a 9. I will just count. God.
Me passes the reins of the game over to bro.
Sorry.
No, it's great. I love it.
No, it's great.
I'm having a good time.
I'm having a great time.
You have actually run into one of the 2 non-venomous snakes in this room.
You've activated my trap card.
So, Sunil takes you over to a particular enclosure. This is the biggest snake in the room, and it is a yellow and brown ball python.
That's a big snake.
It's about 10 feet long.
Wait, hold on. I do need to set a preface with this, Jordan. How afraid of snakes is Mason?
Mason's wet now.
Make a sanity roll. Make a sanity roll.
Come on, big man.
I can see that shit coming.
Of all the shit you've seen today,
You take 1 point of sanity damage. Also, because you're establishing this now, Jordan, I'm gonna have to demand that you need to add the phobia of snakes to your character sheet. Which I will pull up the term because I have it on my little list of phobias. Because you're establishing this, I'm like, well, this is great. Let's use this more often.
I can't believe you fucking did it to yourself, dude.
I know what I'm getting into. I have to get in fears.
Mason sees God and lives but faints at a snake.
That was gonna be my next part.
I really wanted him to fucking faint from that failure.
Is it just
hold on,
snakes,
hold
Jordan,
on.
or is it just reptiles in general?
Snakes.
Okay, cool.
It's some about snakes.
Then
and
you
getting-
have ophidiophobia.
Bro, they quick.
I'll send it to you.
Okay,
Bro,
thank
they
you.
quick. They quick.
But yeah, they're still holding Mason. Mason stammers, sputters, spits, and sweats as he's like, "Oh, that's beautiful. What kind of stuff do they eat?"
Well, the diet of the ball python in the wild consists mostly of small mammals like rodents, shrews, and birds. The smaller ones, they prey on small. He goes on for a little bit. You ask the question, and he's going to answer it.
Hey,
it's like,
how big do they get?
So a ball python tends to get about
According to
I said 10
Wikipedia,
feet. It's
the
actually 6 feet, but like
Yeah.
I meant to say that he was 5 feet long, and I was like, wait, he used to be 10 feet long before I realized how that was too big. He's more like closer to 4 or 5 feet. He's about like slightly shorter than what Sunil is.
He's taller than Sybil.
So, between 4 and 5 feet is this snake. Sunil actually like does stick his hand in this tank. He's like, now this is a python, not venomous, can be touched. Actually make great pets.
Can I touch him?
Go for it. Go for it.
Sunil actually like reaches into the tank. He's like, come on. It's like, this is Piffy, and like brings him, like tries to like direct it a little bit closer to Sybil. You may touch him.
Mason immediately
Like-
faints.
James,
Oh God! Someone call kids.
Kid just like
no,
looks
no.
up. He hears like this
Just in the middle of the kitchen, you just hear "Ka-thunk" just from the upstairs, and you hear Sunil through the floorboards go, "Oh God, Mason!" Like,
I want this to be specified.
uh-huh.
Kit hears a ka-thunk, and then hears James go, "Ha!"
He's fine. No.
He then proceeds to pick Mason up, and he's like, "All right, I'll be back in a minute. I'm gonna take him downstairs."
Well, I think they have it handled.
Sybil, meanwhile, snake.
I hope he's okay. I hope. he's
Sybil,
okay.
listen to Sunil. You're in his house.
Okay.
No taking his hat.
You know, it is my house. You can't take my hat in my own house.
Sybil
Listen to the
grabs his
man.
hat and puts it on her head.
He grabs it immediately back, almost in like the same motion. God. Well, the other two people I was going to show this just left the room, so.
Keep showing me. I want to see all of them.
All right, Sybil, roll. If you had to pick a number between 1 through 9, incredibly randomly,
I would definitely choose 8.
you would choose 8? 8 is the number you'd pick? Amazing. Amazing that 8 would be the number that you would pick.
I would choose 8 for a completely arbitrary reason. Would choose 8.
For a completely arbitrary reason. You go over to another tank. This is bright blue, very scaly, almost draconic snake is what you see. It's like it has like it's very pretty, like kind of gorgeous. Very reflective eyes. This is a bush viper. Sunil does not pick it up because it is very venomous and goes, this is Jabberwocky. He looks like a dragon.
He's a dragon.
He's just a tiny little dragon. Tiny little slithery dragon.
Oh my gosh. Do you think they used to be dragons?
You know, I wouldn't really say.
You should study that. You should study that in your science thing. If they were dragons once.
Do you think that dragons are closer to dinosaurs or closer to? Because then it would be birds.
¿Por qué no los dos?
Bird snakes.
Yes, bird snakes.
It's like, well, I think
as the current standing DM, may I request a quick cut so I can get James back in that fucking room.
You know what? Let's say that like in this brief period of time, if James were to leave, put Mason on the. Manisha has a fainting couch on the second floor. I didn't describe it, but she does in fact have a fainting couch on the second floor. That is a thing that I've had in mind for like this whole time.
Prepared for all of the snake phobics that go into this house.
It's for her to be dramatic on, but also for
James is gonna bring Mason down. Like Mason is literally slung over his shoulder. He's just going to bring him down.
He's not that heavy either. So
and just like
good.
He's not going to like him down on the cat. He's going to like gently put him down because he's a good person. And then he's just going to like very lightly like against his cheek, just Mason, hey, buddy.
Hold on, wait, before you roleplay this, hold on, I need to, I because Dingles is the DM right now, I will take some control just for this one little moment. I would like to state that you lightly slapping his cheeks does not work, and Manisha instead puts a little bit of curry under his nose to wake him up.
I see I must take care of this myself. She walks upstairs with the spoon, like and like waves it around Mason's face.
Oh my god, this poor man! He's been in this house for like 10 minutes.
Hey, bud.
Come into the
Welcome
kitchen.
back.
What
you,
just
Manisha.
happened?
Would you like to come into the kitchen, Mr. Allen?
Why don't you go help them out?
Sure, that sounds great. What just happened?
You saw a python and passed out.
Oh, Python. Mason, who stands up, goes, Python? Oh, shit.
I got it.
And then puts the spoon back under. She's just like,
Let's not do this down the stairs. I'll just let's go.
Mason, you do that one more time, I'm actually gonna full force smack you to wake you up.
she like grabs your hand and like take you down the stairs. Oh, they're so soft, and like walks you down. James, I'm assuming you have walked back up into the snake floor.
Yep.
God. So what you probably see at this point, Kristen, with your permission, is Sunil is about to hand her a white-lipped python. Very like iridescent kind of scales. It's black and shiny and looks kind of hollow. And like not like very big, closer to like the 2 or 3, not even that long really. But it's like can wrap around your hand comfortably. Let's put it that way. All the way. By the way, chat, I have pictures of all of these snakes. I will put them in the fan server at the end of the stream. And Sunil is basically, he's like, this is the other snake that you can actually touch in this room. The rest of them, do not touch them. He cannot stress enough. Do not touch these snakes.
I won't touch them. He makes a nice bracelet.
Oh goodness, she does. I picked her up from someone's personal collection. She just was not being taken care of correctly, and I just did not like that.
Oh, that's horrible.
James, would you like to, this is Mary, Queen Mary. Sometimes we call her May. She's a very posh lady, she is.
Oh, this one's Mary.
This is Mary, yes. She's a little fussy. She always has to get away. It's very old. She's an older kind of woman. But she's a pet. She knows she's a pet. And, I just wanted to make her last day special,
What a magical lady.
Yeah.
Very kind.
It's he probably does go by the she like licks her tongue out a little bit. God. He'll probably let you hold her as long as you feel like it. Honestly speaking, the snake can go throughout the house. Manisha doesn't really mind. That's like a thing that he would let you know, and that is up to you. But like at this point he'd probably point out the rest of the things and then be like, I'm pretty sure they're done down there at this point. I'm sorry for keeping you in.
No, this is amazing. Can I ask, what exactly are you studying them for? Aside from, them just being very lovely snakes.
Oh, well,
I realize I never really asked you.
Well, after certain circumstances, I used to be really into reptiles and snakes and all those things before I went to medical school. And when I left and came back, and after everything happening in America at that point, and then I realized that I wanted to go back to something that made me happy, so I just did. And well, there's just something very interesting about snake venom. It's so dangerous, but it also has great medicinal property, and it's just the idea of something that is meant to destroy being used for something other than that is just magical to me. I want to help people, and this is a very interesting way to do so, and I just wanted to find a way to do that in a way that the, I guess, strange little man that I am, could figure out how.
That's neat. I like that a lot. That's really smart.
Well, I
You're really
think you're
smart,
doing a great
Steve.
job so far.
Thank you. He gets a little bashful. He's just kind of like, we should downstairs. Are you bringing Mary? Or are you dropping her? I just need to know so I can make her comfortable.
I mean, if she'd be
Well-
comfortable, I would love if we brought the lady to dinner.
Here's the thing. I don't know. Even though Mary is adorable and wonderful, and I'm sure she, like, the whole time he's saying this, he's like lightly scritching her, and just giving her all the love. So I'm sure she'd love to
He
come
reacts
down
in
for
kind.
dinner. But I'm fairly certain it doesn't matter what kind of snake it is. I think if Mason sees this, he's gonna pass out in the bowl.
All right. Fine.
Sunil then at that point takes a handout, like he's like, understandable, takes a handout. Mary at this point is weirdly very trained, so he takes his handout. She actually slithers up his arm, wraps herself around. He brings her back over to her tank. She slithers back off, goes into her tank, curls around herself, licks her tongue out one more time, and then and then he goes, well, shall we?
Yes.
And then he waves goodbye to everyone. Dahlia, Bronco, Mary, Hyde, Georgia, Flan, Diadem, Jabberwocky, Pithy, Panaf. Yes, all of you. Have a good night. I will check on you once again before we retire. And then he closes the door, and they go back downstairs. And I'm handing it back to Xander now.
I take it. All right, cool. That was wonderful. Yeah.
Hold
I
on.
mean, unless there's anything else that people want to like roleplay or say here, I'm content. Unless you guys want to do more, just saying that you guys have dinner with Manisha Pandey. We've already addressed the spice tolerance of all of our investigators
How
before.
spicy is the curry? One final question for DM, brother.
I think that Brodingles mentioned this last time, and correct me if I'm wrong, which was Manisha wouldn't want to kill her guests, so it's not like mild.
It's not as hot as she wanted to get it,
Mhm.
or she would have done under different circumstances, or if she was testing you.
It's spicy. It is objectively spicy, but it's it is like, I'd say for the more Caucasian palates, it is a tolerable spice. Yeah, exactly. Tolerable, air quotes, spice level. Still
See,
spicy.
I remember last time we were talking about this, I was doing the thing where I was like, so good. But I think that's Mason.
So good.
Where it's like
streaming down his face.
Bread
James is like straight face, like, yeah, this is great. Fucking red in the face, tears streaming down, but like no outward like fucking reaction to it. This is awesome. It's like, this is wonderful.
Sybil going for seconds, is not even fucking blinking. This is delicious.
It's making my head hurt, making my face red.
This woman has her fingers crossed. Has her fingers crossed. No elbows on the table because no elbows on the table. But like, she has them crossed and she's watching you all. She eats a little bit of the food, watches a little bit more, eats a little bit of the food. You're enjoying my cooking.
Yeah.
Special for you.
Oh, this is delicious. And Mason begins to reach for the cup of water.
No, no,
James-
no, 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 no,
James,
no,
like-
no, 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 no. That will make
was
it
gonna
less.
I was gonna
Not-
say,
like, put his
James
hand
sees him
down.
going for the water. James reaches down, slowly slides it across the table.
Okay, yeah, you got it.
She again pushes him some bread. If you need any milk, there is some in the.
Thank you very much. This
We
is delightful.
It's for your own good.
Mason genuinely means it. Like, it is delightful. But goddamn, does it hurt so good? The spice. Jesus.
I love it. Alrighty, so
And
what's up?
Sandra, may I grab the reins for like 2 more seconds?
Fucking have them.
Manisha now at this table, now with these people trapped in the politeness of being at a dinner table at the same time. So, what has been going on? What brings you to London? Sunil did not fill me in. Sunil is quietly like.
Oh, you know, the usual, same as last time. Ghost stories, horror things, maybe a cult or two.
We just went by a very, very interesting artist's house.
Do you still have
Very-
that painting on you?
He does, but he's not going to show it to her.
I wasn't asking if he was going to show it to her. I was just asking.
He does. He does have it.
Okay.
He does have it.
It's
It's probably
probably,
like on the couch or something.
It's like downstairs, like it's like the front door. It's like resting up against next to the coats and stuff, like
Yeah.
propped
Okay.
up by the doorway. Yeah, the wrapped
God.
up painting of Lester Goodman, which I allowed in this world to exist, and I expect somebody to draw it at some point in their lifetime. Anyway, moving on.
Mhm.
I forgot what we were doing. Continue what you were saying.
Manisha was
Yeah,
asking.
Manisha-
Yeah, Manisha was asking what the group is doing in London.
Yeah.
And James just told her about the artist.
I see. You went to go see an artist. Cults art. That seems to be a. Well, I feel as though you have told me the truth. Yet, I also feel as though there is Did you not go to see? I don't remember if Sunil called her or not to tell her about Jackson.
I don't think
That is-
I don't think he did.
I don't think he ever mentioned it to Manisha ever.
No.
Right. You went to go see your friend Jackson Elias, yes?
The whole room drops. Like someone just dropped a fork.
Yes, among other plans. Yes.
Yep. Yeah, we did.
She takes this in. She
Spoonful.
I see. She surveys all of your faces. She can tell that something fucky happened. And she's just like, how is she going to phrase this? Because she's smart enough to know not to like open shit, but she also kind of wants to know, and this is her house, and she must know every single thing that is happening in her house. She basically something along the lines of, how was your visit? You all came back together. Why did he not? Does he have business in America?
Unfortunately, our good friend Jackson Elias passed before we could meet up with him in New York.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear about And she much like Sunil does, puts her hand under her chin a little bit, as though she's thinking, and she's giving genuine, like a genuine kind of condolence about this. She actually, I had one of his books in my room. I one day wanted him to sign it, but I guess that is no longer an option. Are you okay?
Oh,
We'll be fine.
yeah.
Mason kind of gives like a gentle nod to that.
She it is a kind of hurt to experience a loss of someone close to you. I'm very sorry. She flicks her eyes to one of the rooms, one of the 2 rooms on this floor. She flicks into them really quickly. It'd be long enough for you to know. It'd be long enough for Sunil to notice. So I'm telling you because Sunil has noticed because I am in the party. And she looks back and she stands up for a bit and she goes into the rest of the thing. And she has something that she's been keeping there. She's bringing out a dessert actually. It's a kind of like, I don't remember what kind of cake this is because I know what it looks like, but I can't describe it. It's not like a specific like type of cake. It is just like spongier in texture, has fruit on top, etc., etc. She's brought it in. She wasn't planning on cutting this today, but she, in some show of condolences, has brought it out and asking if you would like a slice at all. It will help with the burn.
I'd like some.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Looks delicious.
Made it myself. I made it myself. And then she cuts it. She gives Sybil a slice.
Well, if you made it yourself, then we know it's good.
Kid is like busied himself clearing like the rest of the table.
God, you're such a good boy. Just she like, I think she's actually as tall as Kit. So she like pats him on the shoulder, pats him on the head a little bit. God, it's like at this point she's just like it's a matter of pleasantries at this point. So she's kind of like she's presented this dessert. She's cut it for everyone. She's going to put the piece on your plate whether or not you wanted to cut it yourself or not, but she will ask you how big you want it to be. It's just those kinds of things. At that point she's smart enough to try to fall back on lighter conversation. So depending on like how that wants to go, that's where that is at this point.
Yeah.
I think we're
Yeah.
feel good.
Silently pushes.
Yeah, I will say Kit probably does mention that like his mom said hi and like invited her to America if she ever wanted to come. So yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
God, you guys can have a mom meet where your moms meet.
Oh my god.
Mom meet where your moms meet. It's like a swap meet, but for moms.
So anyway. So with moving on from that lovely, wonderful scene, yeah. So other than that, like, you know, with some cake and you know, fine if not a little spicy food in your bellies, is everyone just gonna go back to their hotel after going to Manisha, or is like Sunil like staying here for the night, or?
He might stay for the night to talk to her a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to roleplay that out or no?
There.
Or give like broad strokes overview of what they talk about.
Yeah, I was about to say I'll give a broad strokes overview.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure after everyone like leaves, Sunil is just like, "Hey, I'm going to spend the night with my mother. I just you know, she hasn't. It's been a couple weeks, and you know, and he stays home with her." And she basically, I'm not going to do both because I cannot switch between the two.
Just the overview then.
Yeah. Basically she says, "Kit looks great. How's that going?" And Sunil's just like, "Well, wedding still October, yes." And she's just like, "Okay, good to know at least one thing is going fine. Also, what else are you keeping from me, young man? Because I just found out that there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know about. And then he's just like, ah, I see. I expected this conversation. However, before we get into that conversation, Mother, he goes, are you okay? And she pauses. And she's just like, as good as I have been for the past few years, Sunil. And he goes, ah. And basically they both just one-upped each other in this thing, but he's filling her in for the most part, and
Sure.
he's explaining to her why he's not going to stay more than one night, and she's just like, that sounds absolutely terrible, that is happening, but also I trust you for the most part. So it's like basically that's the case. He does in fact go back up to his snakes to tell them all good night. Comes back down. Comes back down. They finish. They do they sit together. They run through the space. She goes to her room. Sunil ends up going to the room that is next to hers. The thing is, it is they have actually moved all of his stuff from upstairs in one of the second rooms to this downstairs room because yeah, that's where everything had to have moved to some point, and then they turn in. So
Excellent. All right, right on. Well, then let us move on to the next day. So it is going to be Monday, the 16th of February. Which the group has arranged to meet with Inspector James Barrington at New Scotland Yard. I will assume, unless corrected otherwise, that what the group does is because Sunil was away, they all meet up together again before heading there. That is assuming, of course, that all of you are going at once to Scotland Yard and you guys aren't splitting up to do other things at once.
I can't think of anything we need to split up for at the moment.
Me neither.
Oh, okie dokie, neighbor.
If we wanted to check out the Penhew Foundation while we have other people at Scotland Yard, what exactly did we want to get from the Penhew Foundation again? I'm just gonna.
I mean, Jackson was looking into it, so
yeah,
we need to like visit and see. Hey, our friend was poking around. What up? So that's true. Someone could go to that, so we could split up.
Well, I guess if we did split up, Sunil would do the Penhew Foundation stuff because he's probably a little bit more versed in figuring things out in that area than he is being any good at Scotland Yard. So
Kit made the appointment, so he'd be going along to Scotland Yard.
Mason will join Sunil for Penhew Foundation. Like, do you want to go to the Penhew Foundation, bro? Like, do you want to take Sunil there, or do you want to take him to Scotland Yard?
Okay, so I'm looking at the time, and also I'm mentally, I know, Xander, I know I don't gotta worry about it. I know.
Do what you want to do. I make the calls. Don't worry.
No, I know, no. I'm not trying to make any calls. I'm just mentally thinking about like, does he want to separate at this point if they don't have to? Because there is safety in numbers. I think at this point they'd probably all be going to Scotland Yard just to all have the information, and there's also the idea of one or two people actually doing talking while the rest are kind of looking around.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Okay, fine by me. All right, well then you guys in kind of like later morning find your way to get to New Scotland Yard, which sits on the Victoria Embankment. Find your way through the building to get to Inspector James Barrington's office, which when you guys find, you see like in his office that he has set up. Is a gentleman with a thin guy, clipped mustache, and weary looking eyes, wearing a shabby suit. You can see that he's currently on the phone, but he sees like you all, like as he's in the middle of talking, and just gestures, yeah, like go ahead, come in, as he's like finishing up, and he goes, right, of course, and tell Garden to pull the file I needed, and we'll call it a day. Wonderful, thank you very much. Hangs up the phone. He goes, stands up. Which one of you is Dr. Sullivan?
Yeah, Kit steps forward and, shakes hand as the whole introduction thing. That would be me. Pleasure to meet you.
Doctor, pleasure to make your acquaintance. Inspector James Barrington. Lovely to... there's certainly more of you than I was expecting.
Kit will introduce all of them.
Sees the 3 chairs in his office and goes, let's move to one of the boardrooms. We can all sit down there and have a conversation, and it will make this quick.
Oh my gosh, we're all gonna have chairs this time.
Kit and James, who are already just waiting to stand like they always do.
Yep. Barrington escorts you all to like a small little private little meeting boardroom in the building where there are plenty of tables for all of you for once to sit.
Oh boy.
Which
I'm just like, now that I can finally sit, do I sit?
Might as well sit.
Sit down.
Okay, I guess I'm sitting down.
yes. Once seated, Barrington cuts right to the chase. So you mentioned that you are all acquaintances of Mr. Jackson Elias. Is this correct?
That would be the case.
I am sorry to hear of his passing. You have my sincere condolences. What did you want to discuss regarding Mr. Elias?
We heard that he was looking into something over here, and we have reason to believe that part of the research that he was doing was why he got killed. So
I see. Yes, you
following
mentioned
it
that.
back.
Yes, you mentioned that over the phone. Well, as I mentioned beforehand, Mr. Elias came to see me, not but a couple months ago now. We talked briefly. He came to talk to me about a string of murders that have been ongoing in the city for the last 3 years now. He said that the murders were ritual killings conducted by an organization that he referred to as the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh, which he told me was an Egyptian death cult. I thanked him for his time, thanked him for the tip. I got in touch with a local organization that specializes in connections with Egypt, a foundation, the Penhew Foundation. I spoke there with the director, Edward Gavigan, and brought up these lines of inquiry with him. He confirmed that the society calling themselves the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh had once existed, but they had no modern-day equivalent, as they died out hundreds of years ago. Gavigan did, however, think the method of the murders I've been investigating imitated those of this ancient cult. I also discovered that Elias had also been in contact with Edward Gavigan, who the latter did tell me that Elias was and you will forgive me for saying this to your, in light of the knowledge I know now, a sensation-seeking profiteer and unlikely to be a reliable source of information.
That sounds about right. That's usually how most people see him.
Yes, well, aside from that, that is the only contact with Mr. Elias I ever had.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna have to think on that one a little longer, but no, Kit at mention of yet another death cult is just sort of that's actually quite helpful, considering that a similar string of murders and cult activity was happening in New York, and that was how Mr. Elias met his end.
Well, that is terrible. Again, you have my deepest condolences. I take it those were in America.
They were, and they were brought to justice.
Well, good. All things
Was-
eventually do come to justice in the end.
Was a culprit ever found for these killings?
No, the killings are, unfortunately, to our knowledge, still ongoing at the moment. We are working, and it is my case, very hard to find leads and bring the culprits to justice. Yes.
Right.
Does it? Sorry, I the player, am having a bit of a trouble getting a read on him, but Kit's better at that than I am. Does it look like he would be willing to be more forthcoming with details?
Depends on how you approach him about it.
Okay.
I mean, it depends. You'd have to roleplay that to find out.
Okay. Yeah. Kit's not good at talking, but he's gonna do so anyway. Yeah, Kit will just straight up ask, when was the last occurrence in these Black Pharaoh ritual killings?
It has been some months now, totaling to 19 in the last 3 years, each all having a similar modus operandi. Perhaps if you've seen in the papers referred to as the Egyptian murders. I'm not fond of the name myself, but the papers and the press quickly caught on to the fact that 17 of the dead were in fact Egyptian nationals, and so the name has stuck.
The murders themselves, were the corpses mutilated?
Now, Mr. O'Connell it was, yes?
Yes, sir.
Understand that as an inspector and as a professional, I am reticent to share specifics of this morbid case with civilians, given the fact that it is still an ongoing investigation, and pardon if I may speak frankly, you all seem to have a deep interest in this case, more so than I would expect of folk who have never really heard of it prior to their recent arrival in the country. Might I advise you proceed with great caution. Excessive zeal is not exactly tolerated around here in England. We don't like cowboys gallivanting about and solving their problems all gung-ho.
Right. Of course.
If you're gonna want Barrington to open up more about the nature of the case, you're gonna need to roll a persuade check. This will go for anybody. Anybody was allowed to roll this.
Let's see.
Can multiple people roll it?
I'm gonna probably limit it to 1 check.
Who has the highest?
70.
I've got a 60.
Sunil, go.
Sunil, go.
Fuck!
Oh,
No! Oh god! Oh god!
Wow.
Shit.
unless you want to dump 30 luck points into that.
I can't really. Can I dump a single one into making it not a crit?
Is there a way to push the roll?
You could try to push the roll. You could
Because I mean, you got a 100.
You got a
worst-
100. Like, if
I don't see why I wouldn't push the roll. It's literally the worst I can do.
so, you just need to. So
But
then let's narratively hear how Sunil is pushing this point of conversation and how it could possibly go bad if you fail this again.
You can tell him that we were the ones who took care of the other cult.
We could also push the, if this, like, whatever's happening here happens to be related to what's happening over there, then we already know a thing or two and could provide more info, for them, possibly a pattern, possibly something.
I feel like he probably started out like mentioning that this might be sort of like a mutually beneficial thing. The thing is, he's upping his intensity. I feel like that's how he would push this, as in he's
Right.
upping the intensity of what he's saying.
Right.
So y'all good on me doing this again?
Fucking
I
go
believe
for
in
it.
you.
3, 2, 1. Fuck!
Fuck.
Unless you want to dump a lot of luck points into that, things are about to get bad, just so you know.
Like how bad?
Well, probably you have ruined your you have fully soured James Barrington's impression of you guys, and you will be forcefully removed from the premises. And you will gain nothing from this conversation.
I can't give luck points, can I?
You cannot.
No, I have 74 luck points. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna dump those luck points so I can actually fail a fucking luck roll at the end of this session so I can get some back.
There you go.
I barely ever roll luck. It's fine.
There you go.
It's okay.
And you can
I will
dump 23 luck points into this.
You know what? At least I didn't have to roll fucking 30. So
Yeah, there you
It's
go.
It's fair.
God.
Okay.
I will dump 23 luck points in this. My luck points are back at 51. Okay.
Okay. You push the point home and get real intense about it and even drive some things in. Inspector Barrington studies you for a long moment, Sunil, as you finish in the silence of the room, and then moves his eyes to the rest of you. Very well. But again, I shall remind you that you should proceed with great caution. As I mentioned, excessive zeal might result in you stepping into the firing line of the actual authorities. But since you seem to be so very well invested in the case, and as a matter of respect for your late friend, Mr. Elias, since this may, in your assumptions, be connected, sure. As I mentioned, there have been 19 murders over the last 3 years. And as your friend, Mr. O'Connell here mentioned, all the victims were, in fact, to a degree, mutilated. The victims
Did any of
were...
them?
What?
Did any of them have a marking on their forehead?
No, none of them had markings on their forehead. All the victims were killed by sharp force trauma, each dying from a metal pike-like instrument that pierced their heart. Additionally, each victim suffered both blunt and sharp trauma to the head and torso, possibly a wooden club with nails driven through it. Initially, I believed that a single murderer was responsible, but forensic reports have suggested that some of the attacks were committed by people of differing heights, so if not a cult, as your friend mentioned, a gang at the very least, is what I assume. A witness came upon a dying victim after hearing a commotion, said the victim cried out, Hotep. I mentioned this word to Gavigan at the Penhew Foundation, told me that it was an Egyptian word meaning rest or peace.
Nyarlathotep.
Yes. I've interviewed a number of people with connections to Egypt. The vast majority had very little to offer. Many of the victims also frequented a club in Soho, the Blue Pyramid Club. It is frequented by residents and visiting Egyptian businessmen alike. I looked into the club, had the place under surveillance, but I did not learn anything before my men had to be pulled away for other assignments. There was an individual, a spice dealer by the name of Zara Shafiq. Interested me. Shafiq had worked with the Penhew Foundation in the past. She also recognized the name, the Brotherhood of the Black Pharaoh, but denied that they still existed. Something about her, I will admit in confidence, gave me the impression that there was much she was not saying. I did have her tailed for a few days, which confirmed she did frequent the Blue Pyramid Club, but little else. Does that satiate your curiosity?
I think so. Any questions?
Well,
No, I'm just like, this is a lot of information.
well, thank you very much for your gracious time. We very much appreciate it, Inspector
Yes.
Barrington.
Yes, thank you, of course. As I said, do not do anything irrational And please, I do not want to have to find you in the firing line of my men, as the authorities are carrying out this investigation.
Understood.
Yes,
sir.
Again, thank you very much.
Of course, I would escort you out, but I unfortunately do have to leap into immediate other affairs. I do wish the rest of you a wonderful rest of your morning and evening and afternoon. Should you have any information that you come upon regarding the Egyptian murders, I would be more than happy to accept a phone call. We are still accepting information on this case. Will that be all?
Yes,
That'll be
thank
all.
you.
Thank you
We'll,
very much.
make our way out.
Of course. Mary, show them out. Thank you. And goes back to his office as a secretary, escorts you guys back out of the building.
Okay.
God,
Well,
fucking hate police.
I miss Lieutenant Poole.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
so basically, he's a little rattled, shaking his head a little bit. Basically, we got more information on that, and Penhu dropped. Should probably deal with that. Now we know a little idea of what's going on with that. Try not to get shot by either cultists or the police. Goals, those are also on the goals list.
We should also maybe. I mean, he mentioned that he had a bit of a hunch about this Shafiq person, and
Yeah.
she worked with the Penny Foundation, so maybe we should tread a little carefully if we look into them, yeah.
Yeah.
Did a good job in there.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't usually, It was important. Thank you.
Well, so we've got the Penhu Foundation and Blue Pyramid Club.
Egyptian nationals, Hotep, all sorts of things.
So where do we want to go first?
I mean,
I was thinking of going to. Hold on, actually. No, my plans may have changed. It might. He's gonna take a while. This is because I'm
Like,
taking a while.
yeah, there's a lot of information. It's kind of hard to even be
Because
sure where.
Tennille's like, okay, his thought process right now is there's a lot of leads. He's kind of wondering if there are any more avenues for information that don't involve other people to a certain extent. As in, like, would he be able to find a newspaper, a library, literally anything that would have this information?
Yeah, there's so many
Okay.
libraries around. Like, if you want to research any subject, you can find avenues of researching it. You're in the middle of fucking London, dude.
Yeah, because he's just kind of like, he's like, okay, talking to people is a little dangerous, just period, but especially right now. So he's gonna want to go research a thing. That said, anybody else got any ideas? Because I'm kind of blanking on just being a person right now. Sorry.
So clubs are those establishments that just anyone can walk into, or is it more about you have to be invited, or
I mean,
you need
I'd
to have
say
membership?
I'd say that just in general, like, knowledge from just the definition of the word club, like, it varies, you know, from like place to place. Like, yeah, obviously some places are like, yeah, this club is like, you know, like a gentleman's club in the traditional sense, is like a membership thing. But there are absolutely the ideas that some clubs are more open. Like, it could, like, it depends. You would need to probably look into the Blue Pyramid Club to know what kind of club it was and like what kind of establishment it was. Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. That's something you can absolutely look into. Great. Well, Given the time, I'd say that with a bunch of information you just learned from Inspector James Barrington, you guys are taking a moment to sort out what your next step of your investigation will be, and we'll pick this up next time on Call of Cthulhu: Masks of Nyarlathotep. Join us next Friday, same time, same place, and a special guest along the way, and we will see you to see what happens next. Until then, my friends, Cthulhu Patagon.